Hello, everybody. Since COVID, house movements and relocations have become a norm. I have the opportunity to move 11 times in about 25 years, if I counted correctly. I have many friends who are on the move now. So I'm making this video not just for them, but for all of you who are affected and need to move house. The tips I'm going to give you certainly worked for me, even though it may be a little old school. This is, of course, the best time to throw out things that you do not need and try to keep it simple. If you have things of similar functions, just one item each will be enough. Of course, it's easier said than done. But if you have to pack, this is what I will normally do. First of all, I will have a logbook and I will actually label everything that I have in boxes, giving symbols or a sequence kind of an organization. For example, L for living room, K for kitchen, B for bathroom, to put the items accordingly inside and name them from 1 to infinity number of boxes if you have. And for each box, as you know, each cube or box has 6 sides. I will actually label L1 on all 5 sides except the base. The reason for that is when the movers move your boxes, they will come in all directions and you do not want to flip any box just to see what is in there. So from L1, for example, the first box of the living room onwards, I will actually go from one end of the room to another or from one cabinet to another. And in my logbook, I will have a general list. Just like landmarks on a map, I will have certain items mentioned so that I will be able to recall what the neighboring items are in case I look for them, as it is impossible to list every single item on the page of the logbook as well, besides it being too tedious. Likewise, if you have more than one person living in the house, you may want to put, like for my case, E for Elise, and that means all the boxes starting with E belong to me, and maybe D for daddy or M for mommy, whatever, or their first names, and this will certainly help for ownership purposes. If you are relocating or migrating, then it may help if you were to label the boxes accordingly, those that you do not need to look at them anymore for a long time. For example, souvenirs and stuff that you want to relocate back. So you put your own signal or symbol or whatever. And items that you may need after a while, as well as items that you do need immediately. Having said that, it is very important to pack things that are only good for 3 days use. What I mean by the first 3 days is where you need time to settle down. You are not going to fumble with the rest of the boxes while you unpack them gradually. And you need things to live on for 3 days. If you can't do it for 3 days, you need to do for at least 1 day. And that 1 day includes things like your PJs and even bed sheets. Trust me, I have heard a case whereby the person could not find bed sheets and could not sleep that night. So you need to have sufficient rest and try to rest ASAP as well. So these are the items that you need for at least 1 day. So having addressed what the must-haves are for the first 1 to 3 days, the next is on the boxes you might want to have other labels like arrows up for those things, bottles that may spill and leak. This will help the movers. You may want to alert them by writing the word heavy with some other kinds of symbols in red or something in order to not let them get hurt unnecessarily. Also, like maybe you like to draw a sun with a cross, for things that must stay away from heat. For example, medications or explosible stuffs, like sprays, all these things can actually explode with heat. It may seem a little unnecessary and very tedious to actually log down all this stuff, because while packing and when you have to go to your logbook and log it down, it is a tedious process. But trust me, when it comes to finding items, you will find them all eventually. And when you move house, if you know, for example, you have 50 boxes, then you know that you will get what you expect as you count them as they load onto the vans or buses and down to your next apartment. It is very easy to trace them. So I hope all my tips help. Thank you for watching this video. See you again next time.